Hey guys, so in Absolute Aquatics, we're going to be talking about Java moss. You all probably know Java moss by now if you've been watching aquarium videos on YouTube, but just in case you're not, I'm going to go through a quick rundown. It is probably one of the most simple plants to grow. You do not need substrate. All you need is a tank with water and enough light, and obviously some nutrients in the water, which usually can just be fish. In this tank, as you can see, I have snails and shrimp, and some of the shrimp are in the bottom left corner eating some algae wafers I just tossed in there so that they'd kind of gather there. There's a few that gathered, but I got impatient, started making the video. So yeah, Java moss, it's just moss, and a lot of times it's used in aquascaping on sticks and rocks, but in this situation I'm using it just as a place for baby shrimp to graze and be able to hide and feel comfortable. And I've noticed in this tank, this clump of Java moss has grown incredibly fast, and I believe it's because it is under a fluorescent light. Just one bulb, and it's not super bright compared to, I have another 20 long over here with a clump of Java moss that is technically, I put in after that other tank, but not that much less time, and this one's under an LED, and it has not grown nearly as quickly. But that's just one situation. This is nothing scientific. I can't prove that it always does better under a fluorescent bulb or lower light, but just one or two tanks side by side, my tank with the fluorescent bulb is growing the Java moss much quicker. And if you have a local fish store, I know from other videos that Java moss is a for sure seller because it grows very slow. Even though I'm saying like that's a good clump of Java moss, it did take quite a while for that to grow. But if you do end up with extra, you can almost for sure sell it at a local fish store. Not like a big box store, but a local fish store for sure. But I like using it for breeding purposes because, like I said before, baby shrimp can go in there. If you're breeding fish, baby fish can go in there. It can also be used as a spawning mop for egg layers. I know that I've definitely seen plenty of videos where Corydoras or like rainbow fish lay their eggs in the big old clumps of Java moss, and then you can easily just pull those chunks of Java moss out, put them into a different tank, let the eggs hatch out. I mean, ultimately, Java moss is just it's an essential plant for pretty much any breeding. Like, clearly you can use something else, but if you watch YouTube, a lot of people who are just breeding fish out of small aquariums like this, they're using Java moss. And it's because it's easy, doesn't need a ton of light, like a lot of hours worth of light. Honestly, I think this clump of Java moss wouldn't be much smaller if I only had this light on it for like 2 hours a day. I mean, it's just that easy to grow. But on the other hand, using this plant for like aquascaping, the way I would do it, I'm not going to show you right now. I might, if I ever do an aquascape video, I'll put an info card in the top right of your screen right now pointing out what I would do. But if you chop it up really, really small, just like tiny little pieces, and then glue it on to like a piece of wood or a rock using super glue, it grows so much denser compared to how this is. So obviously if you like this look better, you can just glue it on like this, but if you cut it up into really small pieces, it just becomes super dense growing on your piece of wood or rock, and I think that looks super cool. in the aquascaping part of it. But for breeding, just big old clump in a bare bottom tank or even a tank with gravel. I kind of like how I have in this tank. It's elevated a little bit on that stick, and I kind of like it because it just adds more area that is on instead of just across the bottom. Eventually it'll grow up like that anyways, but this kind of puts it up there earlier, and so that's what I like about that stick. You can do that, or you just grow it off the bottom. Alright guys, so that's my video on Java Moss. Please give this video a thumbs up, comment in the comment in the section below, sorry. And please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, aquascaping videos, and other fish related videos.